So we're going to, any questions before we get started? Good. I mean, it's really experiential. I can go blah, 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 blah forever, but it's an experience, right? Okay. So sit comfortably. We're going to do a guided meditation on finding your joy. So ideally, if you can have both feet on the floor, on the ground, and sitting with the spine as straight as possible. Let the eyes be gently closed. And take a deep breath. And just let it go with a sigh. Now, if you do have an intention for any type of healing, you can set that intention now. And then just let it go. And that intention will be intermingled with your joy. Allow the breath to be easy, gentle. And we'll just take a couple moments to think of grounding ourselves. Become aware of the tailbone, the base of the spine. And visualize that you're sending a cord or roots down from the tailbone, from the spine, down through your chair, through the floor, down into the earth. So you're connecting deeply to Mother Earth, acknowledging gravity and acknowledging the support. Also become aware of your feet, the soles of the feet. Feel the floor underneath the feet. And from the feet as well, visualize, imagine you're sending roots or cords from the soles of the feet down through the floor, going deep, deep down into the earth. Good. Now bring your awareness back up into body. Bringing your attention to the heart center. It's right there at the center of the chest. And picture in your heart something that gives you great joy. It could be a person, a place, an experience. Something that when you think about it, you cannot help but smile. You feel the joy bubbling up there in your heart. Feel that feeling. And this joy cannot be contained. It expands upwards into your throat and neck. This joy bubbles up into the head, the face. Even your brain is bathed in joy. Feel it, experience it. slowly begin to bring yourselves back. Might feel good to deepen the breath. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Let the head roll gently from side to side. And very gently letting the eyes open. Just take your time because it's been a little bright after having class. So how'd everybody do?
That was awesome.
Nice.
Beautiful. You're singing too.
Yeah, that was nice.
Was everybody pretty much able to connect with their joy? Yeah. Sometimes, it can be a little bit of a challenge just because there's other issues we have going on in our lives and we just can't quite connect to it. But generally, it works pretty well to just come up with something, some memory, experience where we felt joy. And it's like a little kernel, and once you have that, you can expand it, and the vibration is helped. So you were holding that vibration of joy and expanding it. So the whole level of the room basically went up from, in that joy.
And he asked you who was the archangel working with you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know from that experience that I had.
I would ask. Very
I
powerful with you.
haven't received some specific names. So anyone have any questions?
Anybody else hear harmony to people? Male? I heard that. I could hear on sometimes in one ear, sometimes the other. It sounded like more of a male voice singing in a harmony, not exactly where you were. And sometimes it would be this ear, that ear, together, or whatever. In fact, it was to the point where it was like, okay. I know I'm supposed to be going for the joy thing. What's this?
Like curiosity.
Yeah. Am I hearing that? Yeah, I could definitely hear that. Yeah. That was weird. Nice. Weird. Nice and weird.
That come in. Yeah, definitely. We're not alone.
My arms just opened.
I saw that.
It was like a fort. I was going, okay, what is this?
Maybe he was sitting on your lap.
No,
the
my
first
arms. And it was like just, it was unbelievable.
It's because it's heart, but heart chakra physically relates to the shoulders, the arms, the hands, and that's that's how we express our love and our feelings. So that was just expansive.
They went up.
Yeah.
They just went up.
Beautiful.
Well,
The rest of you is levitating also, but we
We won't talk about that.
it was really.
That was interesting.
Good. And that's something. This is we were very focused and we had intention, but certainly on your own, just to sing to shift the vibration for yourself and set an intention. I'm here with the bowl and kind of doing all this stuff, but it works. It works just on your own, using your own voice. Your own voice is a really, really powerful tool. So, just remember to use it for the good of mankind. For the good of womankind.
So Andrea, do you work with people one-on-one then?
Yeah.
Okay, and how can others who are interested get in touch with you?
On the bottom of your information sheet, I have my phone number and my email address. So, and certainly, thank you.
That was wonderful.
Do you do workshops or anything with just
I
that?
do workshops. I actually do workshops where we do a little bit of getting into the body too, with some stretches as well, and just preparation for grounding. Because when you spend a lot of time doing this energy work, you don't want to get spacey. So, doing some sort of physical work along with the bowl, I find is a good balance.
Why did everybody look at me? Don't answer that.
So, any other questions? Yes.
As I heard the harmonics, my hands, they were vibrating at such energy in my palms. Unbelievable. And I didn't hear the harmonics all the time.
You must feel for the entire body. Everything, the entire body.
That's what I had.
Pretty incredible, isn't it?
Let you know that
That's great, yeah.
it was like a surge when you heard the harmonics.
It's a whole collection of
There was vibration in the
Very.
Yeah,
resonance.
the bigger ones too, that just go on the table, yeah.
Great,
It is.
thank you.
When my portal opens, I hear a vibration. It's not tinnitus. And then the sound that you were producing was merging with that and put me into a state of theta. I was out. I was gone. So it was pretty cool.
When you have the tinnitus, is it more in the right ear or the
It's
left
not
ear?
tinnitus.
No, I mean you just.
It goes off and on, but right now it's like, you know.
Is it both ears?
No, it's this vibration that I hear, and I
Okay.
know that the portal is open. So that matched up with it perfectly. It blended with it, and it just took it over.
Great.
It's very cool.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, like, I saw, like, almost like purple, like, I saw, like, lines of purple, then all of a sudden it got all purple, like, not a deep, like, maybe a violet or something like that, and then it was, like, white, like, I saw color.
Me
Like
too.
the
I saw the purple. I saw purple as well.
The intensity of, like, how I heard it, it was, like, different vibrations, and I don't really have a problem with my right ear, more so my left ear or so, and it was just like everything like was open, like there were like so many experiences, so thank you.
Good. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
It's a good group you have here.
Oh, well, thank you. We'll bring
Oh, yeah.
we'll bring the rest next time.
It's only a half a loaf.
Yeah, just half a loaf. But a great half of a loaf.
That was great.
Yeah, that was great. Wonderful, really. And the singing part, what that you're singing, I had no expectation that you would sing as well.
Right.
No?
Yeah, that's
amazing.
The singing bowl?
Yeah, because with all of the different places that I speak at, I'm always walking past a room where I'm familiar with the bowls or I'm very familiar with it. I never go in, I've never had the experience, but I did not anticipate you singing. And that really, it added, it modulated the vibration as well. Yeah. Which I thought was really beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm a thinking person, sorry, but I was also thinking like how fortunate we are that you have that voice. Like how much more difficult would it be for someone to have this shared experience or this individual experience if they're with someone else that can bring the sound and the vibration from the bowls but not enhance it with your voice. It's almost as though the marriage is perfect.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was really lovely, really lovely.
Good question.
I've listened to bowls and I've had many experiences with them, but the expansion it was certain sounds that you made with your voice. The expansion from like the front of my head coming out this way. I've never had that to the extent. It's the extent that your voice enhanced. So you took the bowls, you brought it, and then the voice opened. It was like opening up this wide. Then I very slowly said, "Okay, we could close it down." But it was a wonderful feeling of just
expansion.
Yeah, and I think if people, I'm sure other people could go with it if they're not frightened of it, because it opens up and you feel it a little bit unsteady. But it's and then you see all different colors and whatever. But it was wonderful. I mean, I haven't been able to hold that for the length of time when you were doing it. It was just fabulous. So I just want to thank you so much. It was great.
Was what you were doing vocally just in the moment, like
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, completely.
That's cool.
Completely. And I walked around. I aimed the bowl at everybody. And certain, different sounds come out for different people.
Yeah.
So I just trust that.
That's good.
I was impressed that a human voice could do some of those sounds.
Yeah.
And the way they followed each other, because it wasn't like you went up the scale, down the scale. It was just like kind of all over the place, and it was beautiful.
Yeah. Very good.
Right. Yeah, I agree. That was a
I
great
think you should
experience.
pack that into the world.
Imagine that as our
It
new
was.
elevator.
It was like
sound.
ink.
Okay.
On TV, when they used to have the one that used to go off at night and it had that sound.
That sound.
I think that
You should be the new sound.
Right.
If that was in elevators, people wouldn't leave the elevator. The elevator's full again. I guess we
The ecstasy.
You gotta get there early if you want to get the elevator.
We're all going up.
Very good. Love it. Love it. That really was I'm very, very glad that you came and shared that with us,
Very nice.
For whatever reason, my journey, I always come across Neil. I know Neil so much better than I know Andrea, but I hear so much about Andrea from Neil. So it was nice to get my own personal, first-hand introduction to why he's so madly in love with you.
It definitely has her perks.
Stop there.
Let's bring this to a different chakra.
Raise that chakra.
It's really interesting because I made the choice so many years ago not to pay attention to other people's work and not follow other vehicles for getting to the place that I am brought to by opening my own conduit. And what I find so amazing is, I'm an advocate of whatever path, whatever journey you want to explore, you want to embrace, you want to stay with it. You stay with it for 3 days, you stay with it for 3 years. Whatever vehicle it is that helps you to get to that space of that vibration, it's wonderful for you. And what I do find incredibly validating is that as I'm being exposed to a new way to journey to that place, everything that Andrea said resonates with what I've been getting through my conduit, and I just find that so fascinating that it's just so interesting to witness that the river can be tapped into from so many different places, through so many different pathways. That's one of the things that I really love about what I do, is to be able to let people know that there is no one way, there is no right way. Any more than I'm going to be an advocate of saying that the only way you're going to reharmonize yourself is through yoga. I'm sure Andrea is not going to say that the only way you can reharmonize yourself is through singing bowls. She's going to say that this is one way for you to experience something that might be at a different vibration than where you are in the moment. And if it resonates with you and it speaks to you, then it might be a path that you want to pursue and to continue. Just one more opportunity that's there. One more thing that you can make a part of your life on a regular basis if you enjoy it. In my own beginning, one of the fascinating things was that those 2 years that I always refer to when I was learning, the guides would say to me that everything is a vibration. And they used to talk about a table all the time, that this is at the molecular level.
Oh my gosh.
It's all vibrating. And then they would say that in the state of consciousness that humans are experiencing at the moment, you have an aggregate agreement that the molecular structure of this vibration is solid and that you cannot pass anything through that table. But when we revisit thousands of years from now, or who knows, maybe 20 years from now, we'll be able to allow our consciousness to interact and connect with the molecular vibration of the table, and the table will part for us as it's listening to our consciousness if we're wanting to pass something through it or walk through it or just play with it or allow it to reshape. So the language that Andrea was using tonight was amazing to me because it was the same language choices that were used as I was learning and discovering the universe that it is that we live in. But me, without any books, just my conduit, that I find that so fascinating. The fact that the table's what they always use, and they would always say at the molecular level. When I heard Andrea say that, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's my guide. Not all these other goofballs I've been trying to prove what those they are. Oh, no, it's been Andrea. So, mystery solved.
You're not related.
That's Garvey saying.
One of the really one of the things that I focus on, if you've ever attended an intuition development class that I offer, I will talk about how when you are able to find the vehicle for you that helps you to quiet your mind and get yourself out of the way, you often will begin to experience vibrations. And very common that the vibration that you'll feel when you do certain exercises of allowing yourself to quiet the left brain and allow the right brain to open up is you'll begin to feel tingling in the hands. You might feel tingling in the feet. The more that you practice, people will experience maybe a touch across the face or a little bit of wind blowing or a sensation of heat or even a sensation of cold. Now, what's interesting is that even though I'm giving opportunities for people to have the experience during the classes and to use the exercises to go off on their own and practice and practice and practice, for me, I didn't get the small introductions. Since I had this intention of knowing, didn't even know I had an intention of knowing, I was so obsessively curious with finding out as much as I could through this conduit and this connection, that they were able to come through my opening of curiosity and vibrate the cells in my body in ways that were profound and startling and stunning. And so I now know that guides can vibrate any part of my body at any time for any purpose, as long as I'm having the intention and that faith that you have when you open up to all of the brilliance that exists and all of that power of love that exists. I have trust that they will vibrate my body in ways that are always allowing me to feel comfortable and unconditional love or communication or a combination of all of them. So I'm one of those people. I haven't come across too many other people yet. I know that I will as I continue, but I am one of those people that can experience the vibration of any part of my body in any way, and that can bring me to ecstasy. And ecstasy, that I'll always refer to it as a drug-free high. So the ecstasy is not just beginning and staying stationary in my head or my brain. The ecstasy is throughout every cell of my being. Every cell of my being is vibrating, including my sexual organs, my chest, my heart, my eyes, my fingers, my arms. Every bit of it is vibrating and creating the sensation of the ecstasy continuing in waves. So one of the things that I was very intrigued by tonight was that the vibration of the sounds can duplicate the sensation of the places that I can get when I am letting myself go. I can feel the vibrations being stimulated externally through sound when I'm so accustomed to all of the vibrations happening from within as my guides are stimulating my cells to have me experience certain sensations. So I'm bringing to you some knowledge of when you take that vibration and if you were able to feel that radiant energy all the way through your being, that does resemble something that you can experience in a wonderful way when you learn more and more how to quiet your thinking self and allow yourself to experience your oneness with your soul and your oneness with the universe, with your guides, with the vibration of love, with God, if you believe that that term has meaning to you personally. So I'm very happy that this group got to experience that sensation as well. We also, when we had David Young here, through his music, you can also experience that same radiant energy in your cells at a vibrational level. I appreciate that those who are live streaming might not have the same experience that we get to have live here, but I hope that by our sharing and our stories and our experiences, they can appreciate that if this is something that they would like to introduce themselves to on their own, or if they are local, to meet up with Andrea, who's Andrea@creationsmagazine.com, that they can also reach out and connect with her. Somebody had a question.
I was just thinking of the vibrational energy and the singing and the chanting almost of how religions have taken so much of that, like the basics of when you think about ancient religions.
Yes.
And how we kind of lost something maybe in translation along the way.
Yes.
But yet the basics of all that stuff, all of those religions is this.
Yes, it's vibration.
So
yes.
it's just it's so interesting.
Yes, completely.
Completely.
You're completely right, Michelle. And that's why I always talk about religions in the context that at the core of every religion, at the basis and the foundation of it, is universal wisdom and intention to help you experience yourself as an eternal being, not to separate you from your unlimited possibility, but to allow you to connect to it completely. That was a very good point. I did have that same feeling when you were speaking. And the other thing that I tell you every week or every 2 weeks, there's certain themes that come up with my coaching clients. I don't even bother trying to figure out how the heck this happens anymore. I love it. I'll never lose my awe of it. But it's like, how can I possibly hang up with someone at noon and then speak with someone 2 hours later and we're talking about the same thing and I haven't directed the conversation? But it happens all the time. Huh? It's just amazing. So the theme of the week, and where are we in the week? We're not even that far in, right? Maybe we are. But the theme of the week is that this came up with so many clients this week. We do have an earth part of us that navigates the earth. That earth part, if you ever pull up a quick YouTube video where they do brain mapping, if there's certain parts of the brain that are compromised through illness or injury, people lose their space, they lose their relationship with space and place, and it becomes difficult for them to navigate or find their way, okay? And now that part of our brain that allows us to remain earthbound and allows us to navigate the place where it is that we live, it starts to go to sleep when the parts of your brain are being vibrated in this manner. And when you're experiencing this vibration, there are other parts of your brain during brain mapping that completely open up. And the thing that makes you believe that you are connected to the earth starts to go to sleep. So again, for me, I've always loved the science behind what I do. So the philosophy of it or the experience of it is one thing, but when you know that there's a science behind it and you can actually see it through brain mapping, it's fascinating to me. But the theme of the week with clients, it's really interesting how much has come up. If you experience something when those areas of your brain are quiet, if you experience your interconnectedness, if you experience another energy, if you experience unconditional love, if you experience this vibration, you can capture the memory of it in your earthbound mechanisms of your brain. So the earthly part of you can store the memory. So I suggest you write the memory down, because when you separate from the vibration, or you separate, or that conduit is closing again, you might lose your feeling of connectedness to whatever you felt or experienced during that time. But if you record how you felt and the sensations, then they become as real as when you were experiencing them. It's quite remarkable that when you get back to the earthly part of your brain, how much you will dismiss the things that happened when you weren't focusing through those areas. So if you don't write down what your experiences were, you may have that sensation of being entirely human again, and this other stuff is just a philosophical possibility without you remembering that you too have experienced it. So I do recommend that you jot this stuff down. One thing that I know, I'm going a little overtime, I hope you guys are okay, but last week was the 10th anniversary of the first time that I ever communicated with guides knowingly. It happened on February 2nd, 2005, and even though I had been experiencing downloads for years by then, this was the first time that I was able to have a two-way connection without just receiving, but of sending and receiving in response to what it is I sent. So every year I celebrate Groundhog Day, like most people on Earth don't celebrate Groundhog Day. It's a huge celebration for me. It's one of my most significant days of the year. But here's an interesting irony, if you will. So I experienced this on Groundhog Day, and I just had my 10th anniversary. Well, I can relate to the movie Groundhog Day. And there's nothing lost on me in the fact that I had my first opening on that day. Because when I was making my discoveries in those years, every single morning I woke up, I was 100% earthbound. I couldn't do what I did the day before. I thought I never could. I thought it was impossible. I didn't know how to get back. I was in a panic. I would really think that this is horrible. Sometimes I'd be like, I wish I had never even known it was possible because I can't stand living without it. Every single morning I woke up with 2 feet on the ground and not a lot else going on. So one of the mechanisms that I used by the suggestion of guides during the times that I was connected was they would tell me, jot things down when you're with us. Because when you are waking up in the morning and you're deaf, dumb, and blind all over again, if you reread the stuff that you really experience, the details, the magnificence, the miracles, if you reread it, then at least you'll remember that it's possible and that you've done it before and you can do it again. So I would be starting a little farther along when I would glance at some of those notes, rather than starting from square one again, being 100% earthbound and 100% human. So the reason I'm asking you to think about this today, number one, it's the theme of the week, but number two, because as we leave Andrea's presence tonight, you did have a moment of some sort that's completely unique to you. I would recommend that you jot it down, or even speak it into your iPhone when you are driving. You know, just have a way to capture it so that when you feel separated or isolated or not in a space of being in the emotions of feeling above the line, you can at least look back at what you wrote or look back at what you said and remember that that space exists. And sometimes remembering that space exists and that you experienced it is enough to get you over the hurdle that's in the moment. And it's enough to invite you to find a new way to get back to that vibration, even if it's calling Andrea. Okay? So that's what I would like for you to do, is to make a note that is in the physical. Don't just capture the memory of how you felt tonight in your mind. Remember, I always say, the mind and the body and the spirit and the wholeness of it, when you're making a discovery through your mind. It's bringing in the pathway of your soul. And the only thing that's left out is the body. So bring the body into it to allow that experience to be whole, to capture it. So by jotting down what you experienced tonight, you're having the wholeness of the whole experience stay with you. By writing it down, you're bringing in that physical reminder as well. All right? Okay. So thanks. I'm sure all of you who were here tonight were very appreciative that you came out in negative 60-degree weather once again. I'm gonna do my best, and hopefully our collective consciousness will all do our best to make March 11th quite a bit warmer for us, and wear bright colors. That was the reason for this, and the flower tonight is to try to warm myself up in some way. So thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. And thank you, Andrea.